News tonight, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani has unveiled a plan to open 5 city-run grocery stores, with prices set at about 30% below typical retail rates. The proposal aims to make essential food more affordable for working families, but it is already drawing debate over taxpayer funding and the city's role in the grocery business.
Here's how it will work. Once a month, our 5 city-run grocery stores will set prices for this core set of goods at 30% below typical retail prices. No exceptions, no gimmicks. The savings will last for the entire month. That means no weekly fluctuations nor sticker shock at the checkout line.
Breaking now. French authorities are investigating a stabbing attack in Paris after 3 women were injured. According to preliminary reports, the suspect allegedly told investigators he had been ordered by Allah to carry out the assault. Officials have not confirmed a motive and say the investigation, including possible extremist links, remains ongoing. Meanwhile, emergency crews are racing to evacuate horses and other livestock as fast-moving wildfires continue to spread across southwestern France. Authorities have expanded firefighting operations, warning that extreme heat, dry conditions, and strong winds are fueling the flames and threatening nearby communities. Here's what's new. President Donald Trump said U.S. military strikes had pretty much destroyed Iran's military capabilities, claiming Tehran is now seeking negotiations with Washington. Trump argued the military campaign created an opportunity for diplomacy and said a potential agreement remains possible if talks continue. Developing now, a teenager was hospitalized after striking a rock while cliff jumping at Sunset Cliffs in San Diego, California. Emergency crews responded quickly, rescued the injured teen, and transported the victim to a nearby hospital. Officials continue to warn visitors about the serious risks of cliff jumping in the area. Just in, Bryan Kohberger, who is serving 4 life sentences for the University of Idaho murders, has filed a petition seeking to withdraw his guilty plea. Kohberger claims he was misled by false promises, received ineffective legal counsel, and maintains his innocence. Legal experts say overturning the plea will require meeting a very high legal standard. Right now, President Donald Trump praised America's automotive heritage during remarks at a manufacturing facility in Michigan, highlighting its role in developing the iconic Chevrolet Corvette, advancing vehicle safety testing, and building the presidential limousine known as the Beast. Trump called the site a symbol of American innovation and industrial strength.
It's amazing what tariffs will do for General Motors and what the election has done. They're doing great. General Motors is doing fantastically, the best year they've ever had. And I won't get into it, but there's a reason. We've been very good to General Motors. And the rest of the world doesn't love me, but that's okay. It's called America First. Right? It's been amazing.
In other news, President Donald Trump says a judge has declined to dismiss his defamation lawsuit against the New York Times, allowing the case to move forward while directing both sides to continue the legal process. Trump accused the newspaper of years of defamatory reporting and vowed to keep pursuing the lawsuit. The newspaper has denied wrongdoing and continues to contest the claims. Meanwhile, Spanish authorities have evacuated about 79,000 people from communities west of Madrid and in the eastern coastal province of Castellón as fast-moving wildfires continue to spread. Another 30,000 residents have been ordered to remain indoors while emergency crews battle the flames and monitor worsening fire conditions. At this hour, and President Donald Trump welcomed an auto worker to the stage during a campaign-style event in Michigan, where the worker praised Trump's support for the U.S. auto industry and criticized former Vice President Kamala Harris over electric vehicle policies. Trump responded with a lighthearted remark, drawing applause and laughter from the crowd.
President, well, we can thank this gentleman right here for all these jobs coming back, and I hear it all the time from all my connections at all the different auto plants around the Metro Detroit area. Jobs are coming back to America. You know, Kamala Harris was running against this guy when he ran for re-election. She wanted to get rid of the internal combustion engine, and crazy Sean Fain endorsed her. So we've got to change the mindset. We've got to build, if they want to sell in our market, they got to build it in our market. And that's what this guy told them. So thank you, Mr. President. It's because of you, you saved our domestic auto industry. Thank you.
Right now, Senator Rick Scott is renewing his call for Senate Republican leaders to delay the August recess until lawmakers vote on the Save America Act. Scott argued election security should take priority over time away from Washington, while some Republican senators are also pushing to keep Congress in session until key legislative work is completed. Meanwhile, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis campaigned in Doral alongside Senator Rick Scott and Mayor Christy Fraga, highlighting support from voters who fled socialist governments. DeSantis pledged to keep Florida's conservative policies in place, protect what he called the Florida dream, and criticized Democratic candidate David Jolly's political agenda.
This man is a Trojan horse, not just for the Democrat Party, but he's a Trojan horse for the Democrat Socialists of America. These are the people who still believe in transing our kids. And by the way, David Jolly believes it's okay to change the gender of young kids. But I'm here to tell you, as your next governor, we're going to protect the puberty of our kids because our children belong to their parents. They do not belong to government.
Just in, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says the Republican-backed Save America Act is dead on arrival in the Senate, signaling Democrats do not have the votes to advance the election-related legislation. The measure remains a major point of contention as both parties continue to clash over election security and voting policy. Right now, President Donald Trump visited an automotive facility in Michigan where he was seen signing a Chevrolet Corvette during an event celebrating the state's manufacturing industry. The appearance drew enthusiastic support from attendees as Trump highlighted Michigan's central role in America's automotive sector. Developing, Senate Majority Leader John Thune says there are currently not enough Republican votes to eliminate the filibuster for the Save America Act. According to Thune, at least 15 Republican senators oppose changing Senate rules, making it unlikely the proposal will advance through that procedural route despite continued pressure from some conservatives. Well, we don't. And I've actually I've had this conversation with the president many times, I think, as you know. And I actually suggested at one point that his team come up and sit down and visit with some of my colleagues. So they came up, met with about 20 Republican senators, and 15 were no on getting rid of the filibuster. The votes aren't there to do it. I know he thinks he can persuade people, but there are a lot of folks who are this is a hard position for a lot of Senate Republicans. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has arrived in Washington, D.C. with a heavily protected motorcade transporting him to accommodations near the White House ahead of meetings with President Donald Trump. Security officials implemented extensive road closures as authorities continue to monitor elevated security threats surrounding the Israeli leader. Breaking now, President Donald Trump has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to allow his executive order restricting how the United States Postal Service handles certain mail-in ballots to take effect before the upcoming midterm elections. The administration argues the order is needed to strengthen election integrity, while opponents contend it could affect voter access. The legal dispute is now before the nation's highest court.
You read recently in New Jersey where tremendous numbers of people were found out that they were on the voter rolls totally illegally, and that's all over the country. That's nothing compared to what's going on in California and Minnesota and so many other states. And hopefully there will be no mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt, except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel. If you're in the military, you're far away, absolutely. If you have to go someplace, absolutely. But mail-in ballots have proven to be a disaster. We're the only country in the world that in this form does them. There's no other country in the world because they're crooked. They pass through too many hands.
Just in, a federal jury has convicted Giovanni Joseph Brumbelow, a 22-year-old from Gresham, Oregon, of felony assault on a federal officer after prosecutors said he struck an ICE agent in the head with a wooden stake during a June 14, 2025 protest outside the Portland ICE facility. He now faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison.